Michigan Early Literacy Collaborative, 2015. This module addresses Common Core Standard RF 1-2B. Readers can orally produce single-syllable words by blending sounds, including consonant blends. In this lesson provided in this module, the learning goal for students is, I can say one-syllable words by putting sounds together. Phonological awareness provides a strong foundation for future reading success. If readers can listen to phonemes and blend the sounds together to make words, they are on their way to becoming readers. This standard addresses a phonological awareness skill. So what is phonological awareness and how does it relate to reading? According to Dr. Hugh Katz and Tina Williamson in their books Sounds Abound, Listening, Rhyming, and Reading, beginning readers must gain a conscious awareness of the phonemes in words to learn to use an alphabetic language. This awareness of phonemes generally does not come naturally with spoken language development. In spoken language, speech sounds are produced and understood automatically, below the level of conscious awareness. Most preschool and kindergarten children lack an awareness of the individual phonemes in words. These children do not realize that words can be divided into phonemes. However, many children can divide words into syllables and have an appreciation of the fact that words may rhyme or have similar beginnings and endings. Developing a conscious awareness of phonemes generally requires some explicit instruction. Phonological awareness is an umbrella term that encompasses the ability to hear rhyme, count words and syllables, and listen for onset and rhyme. Phonemic awareness is under this umbrella and specifically addresses listening to individual units of sound, or phonemes, within a single syllable. RF 1-2B specifically teaches to blending phonemes to create a single syllable word. Blending is one of the most challenging phonemic awareness skills for struggling readers. According to Susan Barton of Bright Solutions for Dyslexia, a lack of phonemic awareness is part of the research-based definition of dyslexia. This is the skill we should be testing for in kindergarten and first grade if we want to find the kids who are at the highest risk of reading failure, if you want to prevent it. A large body of research suggests a high level of correlation and causation between a lack of the ability to blend phonemes and future reading struggles. Phonemic awareness is more highly related to learning than intelligence, reading readiness, and listening comprehension. By Keith Stanovich. G. Reed Lyons says, phonemic awareness is the core and causal factor that separates normal readers from disabled readers. Some, in fact most first graders, will be able to blend phonemes quickly and easily, but explicit instruction in a gradual release model is imperative for those who find it difficult. Although this lesson could be presented to a whole class, it is well suited for a small group of students like this. The goal of this phonemic awareness lesson is to develop our students' ability to listen to individual phonemes and blend the phonemes together to make words. Students will need to listen with their ears to spoken sounds, smoosh the sounds together, and quickly and correctly pronounce the word. Teachers will need to value the work of listening to sounds without the addition of print and understand how to teach phonemic awareness skills. This lesson will take approximately 25 minutes. In this lesson, students will need to have an awareness that words are made up of individual sounds, and have a working knowledge of individual letter sounds and sounds of common digraphs, such as sh, f. Phonological awareness lessons should be practiced frequently each week. This lesson is intended for an intensive small group. However, many activities in this lesson and in the resources are ideal for integrating throughout the day with the whole class as time allows. In this lesson, you will need picture cards and blending tools, such as a slinky, rubber band, chewing gum, or toy trains that can be attached and pulled apart. I will use a slinky in my examples. The lesson begins with explicit instruction of why we need to learn the skill. You may watch a blending video to build interest and provide a visual representation of blending with the slinky. You might want to say something like, "Readers, remember how we have been learning that the words we see, say, and write are made up of many little sounds. Today we are going to practice putting words together after hearing the sounds that make up each word. For this activity, we will not use letters that you can see, only sound that our ears can hear. Did everybody bring their ears today?" And remember to offer several reminders of the learning target throughout the lesson. Readers, today I want to teach you that we can hear sounds that are stretched out and put them together quickly to say a word. This skill will help us to read and write new words easily. The lesson continues with teacher modeling of the skill. You might want to say something like, "Watch me as I say a word with the sounds all stretched out. P, I, G. My ears hear 3 sounds, but I can smoosh those sounds together with no space in between. P, I, G. P, I, G. Pig. Pig. You can model how to blend the sounds together until the word can be said quickly. Use the slinky to visually represent putting the sounds together, and model several examples including words with 2, 3, and 4 phonemes. As a teacher, you have modeled the strategy for the students. Now it is time for the children to practice. You might say something like, "Now it is your turn to try. Remember to listen to the sounds and smush them together to make a real word. Let's try a few together." After you've practiced a few, you might want to play a Simon Says game. In this activity, the students will hear you say individual phonemes and will need to blend them to complete the Simon Says command. For example, Simon says to touch your n, o, z. Simon says to point to the u, I, t. Simon says to touch the r, g, etc. Remember, don't provide visual cues for this game, or point before you want them to, as they will need to do the work of listening and blending. Now it is time for active engagement. The teacher has modeled the strategy for the students. The children have practiced with guidance from the teacher. Now it is time for them to actively practice the skill on their own. You might want to play a Go Fish game. You can pass out a complete set of individual picture cards to students. Segment the words for the students. Ask them to hold up the card that matches the segmented word and say the word quickly and smoothly. Remember to support and assist as needed. Although this is the active engagement portion of the lesson, it will still need to be guided by the teacher, as they need a model of the segmented word in order to blend the sounds. Now it is time to link the learning that they have practiced so that they can remember it for later on. Review the learning goal with the students. I can say one-syllable words by putting sounds together. Review how the skill improves overall reading skills. You might say something like, "Readers, remember that the slinky is the same whether it is stretched out or put together, just as words are the same whether they are stretched out or put together. Being a good listener to the sounds and words will help you to read new words every day. All of these sounds we hear can be connected to letters or patterns of letters. Knowing the sounds and how to smush them together will help you to be quick problem solvers with tricky words." And now it is time for the students to process their learning during a Think, Pair, Share activity. The processing helps solidify and personalize learning. During the think part of the Think, Pair, Share activity, the question is, how can knowing the sounds and how to swoosh them together help you read new words? Discuss with a partner and share out with a group. Because of the nature of segmenting, it is difficult to have an individual assessment for students to do with pencil and paper. This needs to be done in a one-to-one assessment. Finally, there are several resources to help build background knowledge of the teacher regarding the very important and often misunderstood skill of phonemic awareness. Further resources include links to samples and models, links to engaging sites and games for student practice, and follow-up center or small group activities to continue practicing this skill. Finally, don't forget to practice this skill throughout the day. Here are some ideas to get you started. RF12B. Orally produce single-syllable words by blending sounds, phonemes, including consonant blends.